Imagine hiding your true self for so long that you forget who you really are. Claire thought she had buried her past deep enough, until one school event changed everything. What happens when the love of your life becomes your daughter's teacher, and an innocent question from a 6-year-old forces you to face the truth you've been running from? Before we dive into this emotional journey, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. The gymnasium was buzzing with excited chatter. Claire smoothed her dress one more time, took a deep breath, and stepped inside. The elementary school gymnasium buzzed with the chaos of proud parents and sugar-high kids. Claire Martinez adjusted her purse strap and scanned the room for Lily's artwork display. "Mommy, look." Lily's voice cut through the noise like a bell. Claire turned, her heart swelling as her 6-year-old daughter bounced toward her, pigtails flying. Lily wore her favorite purple dress, the one with sparkly butterflies that she insisted made her fly faster. "Baby girl, you look beautiful," Claire said, kneeling to Lily's level. "Show me everything." The gym was decorated with handmade paper flowers and student artwork. Parents clustered around tables laden with homemade cookies and punch that was definitely too sweet. Claire recognized most faces. Soccer moms, working dads, the usual crowd from pickup and drop-off. "My painting is over there." Lily grabbed Claire's hand, tugging her toward the far wall. "Ms. Rachel says it's the most creative one in the whole class." Claire's steps faltered. "Ms. Rachel." "My teacher, Silly. You know, the pretty one with the curly hair who always smells like vanilla." A chill ran down Claire's spine. "Rachel." It couldn't be. Not here. Not now. They weaved through the crowd, Lily chattering about her classmates and the cookies she wanted to try. Claire's mind raced. There were thousands of Rachels in the world. Millions, probably. The odds were astronomical. "There she is!" Lily pointed across the room. Claire's world stopped. Standing by the art display, laughing with another parent, was Rachel Torres. The same Rachel who used to steal Claire's hoodies in college. The same Rachel who made terrible coffee but perfect pancakes. The same Rachel who had walked out of Claire's life 8 years ago without looking back. Rachel's hair was shorter now, a professional bob instead of the wild curls Claire remembered. She wore a navy dress that brought out her eyes. Those same warm brown eyes that used to make Claire forget her own name. "Isn't she the best teacher ever?" Lily beamed up at Claire. Claire's mouth went dry. Her heart hammered against her ribs like a caged bird. This wasn't happening. This couldn't be happening. Rachel turned, scanning the room, and their eyes met across the crowded gymnasium. Time fractured. Rachel's smile froze. Her face went pale, then flushed pink. The parent she'd been talking to kept speaking, but Rachel wasn't listening anymore. She was staring at Claire like she'd seen a ghost. Claire felt exposed, vulnerable, like every secret she'd buried was written across her face. 8 years collapsed into nothing. She was 22 again, standing in their tiny apartment, watching Rachel pack her bags. "Mommy?" Lily tugged on Claire's hand. "Are you okay? You look funny." Claire blinked, forcing herself back to the present. "I'm fine, sweetheart. Just surprised to see someone I know." "You know Ms. Rachel?" Lily's eyes widened with delight. "That's so cool. Come on, let's go say hi." "No." The word came out sharper than Claire intended. Several parents turned to look. "I mean, let's look at your artwork first, okay?" But it was too late. Rachel was walking toward them, moving through the crowd with purpose. Her steps were measured, careful, like she was approaching a wild animal that might bolt. Claire's fight or flight response kicked in. Every instinct screamed at her to grab Lily and run. But she was trapped, by social convention, by Lily's excitement, by the weight of 8 years of unfinished business. "Claire!" Rachel's voice was softer than Claire remembered, more careful. Wow. I didn't know." "Hi, Rachel." Claire's voice sounded foreign to her own ears. Lily looked between them, her 6-year-old brain working overtime. "You two know each other? That's so awesome. Ms. Rachel, this is my mommy. Mommy, this is my favorite teacher in the whole world." Rachel's smile was strained but genuine. Your mommy and I went to college together, Lily. A long time ago. Were you friends? Lily asked with the innocent directness that only children possessed. Claire and Rachel exchanged a look loaded with 8 years of history, heartbreak, and words left unsaid. Yes, Rachel said quietly. We were very good friends. The air between them crackled with tension. Other parents continued their conversations around them, oblivious to the emotional earthquake happening in their midst. Claire studied Rachel's face, searching for clues. Was she married? Happy? Did she ever think about what they'd had? Did she regret leaving? Can we see my painting now? Lily asked, breaking the spell. Of course, baby. Claire's voice was barely steady. They walked to the art display in awkward silence. Lily's painting was a riot of colors. A house with a garden, a little girl with pigtails, and a woman with long dark hair. It's beautiful, Lily, Rachel said, and Claire could hear the genuine affection in her voice. You're incredibly talented. I painted my family, Lily announced proudly. That's me and that's Mommy. We live in the yellow house with the big garden. Claire's heart clenched. The painting showed their little family of 2, complete and happy. But looking at it now, with Rachel standing beside them, it felt incomplete somehow. It's perfect, Claire managed. The 3 of them stood there, surrounded by the noise and chaos of the school party, but existing in their own bubble of complicated history and uncertain present. Rachel cleared her throat. I should get back to the other parents. But Claire, I'm glad you're here. Lily talks about you all the time. You're raising an amazing little girl. The compliment hit Claire like a physical blow. All those years of wondering if she was enough, if Lily was missing out by not having a traditional family. And here was Rachel, the woman who'd broken her heart, telling her she was doing a good job. Thank you, Claire whispered. Rachel started to turn away, then stopped. Maybe we could talk sometime. Catch up? Before Claire could answer, Lily piped up. Mommy, can Ms. Rachel come to our house for dinner? She could meet Mr. Whiskers. Claire's face burned. Lily, I'm sure Ms. Rachel is very busy. Actually, Rachel said, her voice carefully neutral, I'd love to meet Mr. Whiskers. Who is he? Our cat, Lily giggled. He's orange and fat and he sleeps on my bed every night. Rachel's smile was the first genuine one Claire had seen from her all evening. He sounds wonderful. The moment stretched between them, full of possibility and danger in equal measure. The rest of the school party passed in a blur of forced normalcy. Claire smiled at other parents, complimented their children's artwork, and made small talk about upcoming field trips. But her attention kept drifting across the room to Rachel. Every few minutes, their eyes would meet accidentally. Rachel would be helping a student find their parents, or cleaning up spilled punch, and she'd glance up to find Claire watching. The moment their gazes connected, both would look away quickly, like teenagers caught staring at their crush. Mommy, you're not listening, Lily complained, tugging on Claire's sleeve. Sorry, baby. What did you say? I said Mrs. Henderson wants to know if you can help with the bake sale next week. Claire turned to face Mrs. Henderson, a well-meaning woman who organized every school event with military precision. Of course. What do you need? As Mrs. Henderson launched into detailed instructions about gluten-free options and nut allergies. Claire nodded and made appropriate responses, but part of her mind was still processing the shock of seeing Rachel again. 8 years. 8 years of building a life without her, of learning to be okay alone, of convincing herself that what they'd had wasn't real love, just college experimentation. And now here Rachel was, looking beautiful and professional, and completely at home in Lily's world. Earth to Mommy, Lily said, waving her hand in front of Claire's face. What? Ms. Rachel is coming over here again. Claire's stomach dropped. She turned to see Rachel approaching with a small paper plate of cookies. I thought Lily might want to try the chocolate chip ones, Rachel said, offering the plate. I made them myself. You still bake. The words slipped out before Claire could stop them. Rachel's cheeks flushed. Sometimes. When I'm stressed or when I need to keep my hands busy. The admission hung between them. Claire remembered Rachel's stress-baking habits from college. During finals week, their tiny apartment would smell like cinnamon and vanilla, counters covered with muffins and cookies that Rachel would give away to anyone who'd take them. "These are amazing," Lily declared through a mouthful of cookie. "Ms. Rachel, you're the best cook ever." "Thank you, sweetheart." Rachel's voice was warm, genuine. "Your mom used to be my official taste tester back in college." Lily's eyes widened. "Really? Mommy, you never told me you knew Ms. Rachel when you were young." Claire felt heat creep up her neck. "It was a long time ago, Lily. But that's so cool. What was Mommy like in college, Ms. Rachel?" Rachel glanced at Claire, asking permission with her eyes. Claire gave an almost imperceptible nod. "Your mom was very smart," Rachel said carefully. "She was studying to be a nurse, and she always helped everyone with their homework. She was kind and funny, and..." Rachel's voice trailed off. Claire knew what she wasn't saying. "Beautiful, passionate, the love of my life. And she made terrible coffee," Rachel finished with a small smile. "I still do," Claire admitted. "Some things never change." The words carried weight beyond their surface meaning. Claire studied Rachel's face, searching for clues about what she meant. Did she regret leaving? Did she think about their relationship? Did she wonder what might have been? "Mommy, can we get more punch?" Lily asked, already bored with the adult conversation. "Sure, baby." As they walked toward the refreshment table, Claire was acutely aware of Rachel following a few steps behind. The gymnasium felt smaller somehow, the air thicker. Every parent they passed seemed to be watching them, though Claire knew that was probably her imagination. At the punch bowl, Lily immediately started chattering with a classmate about their weekend plans. Claire ladled pink liquid into a plastic cup, hyper-aware of Rachel standing beside her. "She's incredible," Rachel said quietly. "Lily, she's smart and creative and so full of life. You've done an amazing job raising her." Claire's hand trembled slightly as she set down the ladle. "Thank you. It hasn't always been easy, but she's the best thing that ever happened to me. She talks about you constantly. My mommy this, my mommy that. She adores you. She's my whole world." The words came out more intensely than Claire intended. Rachel's expression softened. "I can see that. And she's lucky to have you." They stood in silence for a moment, watching Lily giggle with her friend. The noise of the party continued around them. Children laughing, parents chatting, the squeak of sneakers on the gymnasium floor. "Claire," Rachel started, then stopped. "Ms. Rachel!" A small boy with chocolate on his face ran up to them. "Tommy spilled juice on the art display." Rachel sighed. "Duty calls. I should go handle that." She started to walk away, then turned back. "Claire, I meant what I said earlier, about talking, catching up. If you'd want to." Claire's heart hammered. "I don't know if that's a good idea." "Maybe not," Rachel agreed. "But maybe we owe it to ourselves to try. As adults, as friends." The word stung more than it should have. "I'll think about it," Claire said. Rachel nodded and hurried off to deal with the juice crisis. Claire watched her go, noting the confident way she moved, how the other parents responded to her with respect and affection. Rachel had built a life here, a career, a place in the community. "Mommy, are you sad?" Lily appeared at Claire's elbow, looking up with concerned eyes. "No, baby. Why would you think that? You have your sad face on, the one you get when you're thinking about grown-up stuff." Claire knelt down to Lily's level. "I'm not sad. Just surprised. I didn't expect to see Ms. Rachel here tonight. But it's good, right? That you know each other? Now you can be friends again. If only it were that simple." "Maybe, sweetheart. We'll see." The party began winding down. Parents collected their children and leftover baked goods. Claire helped Lily gather her backpack and the small prize she'd won in the ring toss game. As they headed toward the exit, Rachel appeared one more time. "Lily, don't forget we have show and tell on Monday," she said. But her eyes were on Claire. "I won't forget. I'm bringing my rock collection. I can't wait to see it." Rachel's smile was genuine, but when she looked at Claire, uncertainty flickered across her features. "Have a good weekend, both of you." "You too," Claire managed. They walked to the parking lot in the crisp evening air. Lily skipped ahead, still high on sugar and excitement. Claire fumbled with her car keys, her hands shaking slightly. "Mommy?" "Yes, baby." "I really like Ms. Rachel. She's nice and she smells good and she makes the best cookies ever." Claire's throat tightened. "She is nice. Do you think she gets lonely? She doesn't have any kids of her own." The innocent observation hit Claire like a punch to the gut. Did Rachel want children? Had she ever thought about the family they might have had together? "I don't know, Lily. That's not really our business. Maybe we could invite her over sometime, so she wouldn't be lonely." Claire buckled Lily into her car seat, using the task to avoid her daughter's expectant gaze. "We'll see, sweetheart." As they drove home through the quiet suburban streets, Claire's mind raced. Seeing Rachel again had torn open wounds she thought had healed, but it had also awakened something she'd buried deep: hope, longing, the memory of what it felt like to be truly, completely loved. But that was 8 years ago. They were different people now. Claire was a mother, responsible for more than just her own heart. She couldn't afford to make the same mistakes twice. Could she? That night, after Lily was tucked into bed with Mr. Whiskers purring beside her, Claire sat in her kitchen with a cup of tea and let the memories flood back. University of California, Berkeley. September 2015. Claire was 21, a junior nursing student who spent most of her time buried in textbooks and clinical rotations. She lived in a tiny off-campus apartment with her roommate Jessica, surviving on ramen noodles and determination. The campus coffee shop was her second home, a place where she could study without the distractions of dorm life. She'd claimed a corner table by the window, her usual spot, when a girl with wild curly hair and paint-stained fingers sat down across from her. "Mind if I sit here?" the girl asked. "Everywhere else is taken." Claire looked around. The coffee shop was busy, but not packed. There were other empty seats. "Sure," Claire said anyway. The girl opened a sketchbook and began drawing, her pencil moving in quick, confident strokes. Claire tried to focus on her anatomy textbook, but found herself stealing glances at the stranger's work. "You're drawing me," Claire realized. The girl looked up, unashamed. "You have interesting bone structure, very symmetrical, good for practicing portraits." That's either a compliment or the weirdest pickup line I've ever heard. The girl laughed, a sound like wind chimes. "Definitely a compliment. I'm Rachel, by the way. Art major, obviously. Claire, nursing." "Ah, someone who actually helps people. I just make pretty pictures." "Art helps people too," Claire said. "It makes the world more beautiful." Rachel's smile was radiant. "I like you already, Claire, the nursing student." Claire shook her head, pulling herself back to the present. That first meeting had been so innocent, so simple. Neither of them had any idea what they were starting. They began meeting regularly at the coffee shop. Rachel would sketch while Claire studied, and gradually they started talking. About classes, about dreams, about the books they loved and the movies that made them cry. Rachel was studying fine arts with a focus on education. She wanted to teach elementary school, to nurture creativity in children before the world convinced them they weren't artistic enough. "Kids don't judge art," Rachel explained one afternoon, showing Claire a painting she'd done of the campus quad. "They just create from pure joy. I want to protect that for as long as possible." Claire was drawn to Rachel's passion, her optimism, the way she saw beauty in everything. Rachel made her laugh, made her think, made her feel like the most interesting person in the world. It took 3 months for their friendship to become something more. It happened on a rainy November evening. They were in Claire's apartment, supposedly studying but mostly talking. Jessica was at her boyfriend's place, so they had the space to themselves. "I should probably go," Rachel said around midnight, but she made no move to leave. She was curled up on Claire's tiny couch, her feet tucked under her, looking completely at home. "You could stay," Claire said quietly, "if you want. It's late, and it's raining, and I don't want you to go." The admission hung between them. Rachel's eyes searched Claire's face. "Claire," she said softly, "are you—" "I don't know what I am," Claire whispered. I've dated guys, but with you, I feel different." "Everything." Rachel reached out and touched Claire's hand. "I feel it too." Their first kiss was tentative, questioning. Their second was sure. Claire's tea had gone cold. She wrapped her hands around the mug anyway, needing something to anchor her to the present. Those early days with Rachel had been magical. A time of discovery and joy and love so intense it felt like drowning in the best possible way. They kept their relationship quiet at first. It was 2015, and while the world was becoming more accepting, they were still figuring themselves out. Claire had never been with a woman before. Rachel had, but not seriously. "I don't want to be your experiment," Rachel said one night, her voice small and vulnerable. "You're not," Claire assured her. "You're my everything," and she was. For 2.5 years, Rachel was Claire's everything. They moved in together junior year, a studio apartment that barely fit a bed and a desk, but felt like a palace because they shared it. Rachel would paint while Claire studied, filling their small space with canvases covered in color and light. Claire would quiz Rachel on child development theories while Rachel made them dinner, usually something creative and slightly burned. They talked about the future constantly. Rachel would get her teaching credential, Claire would finish nursing school, they'd find jobs in the same city, get a real apartment with actual rooms, maybe adopt a cat. "What about kids?" Rachel asked one night as they lay tangled together in their narrow bed. "What about them? Do you want them? Someday?" Claire traced patterns on Rachel's bare shoulder. "With you? Yes. Definitely yes. We could adopt," Rachel said dreamily. "Or one of us could get pregnant. There are ways." "You'd want that? To have a family with me? I want everything with you, Claire. Everything." The memory was so vivid that Claire could almost smell Rachel's vanilla perfume, could almost feel the warmth of her skin. They'd been so young, so certain that love was enough to overcome any obstacle. They'd been wrong. The problems started senior year. Claire was accepted into a competitive nursing program at UCSF. Rachel got a job offer at an elementary school in Sacramento. Her dream job, teaching art to kids who needed it most. "It's only 2 hours away," Rachel said. But her voice lacked conviction. 2 hours might as well be 2,000, Claire replied. "We'll never see each other. We'll make it work. People do long distance all the time." "Do they? Successfully?" The question hung between them like a blade. They tried to make plans, to find compromises. Claire could defer her program for a year, look for something closer to Sacramento. Rachel could turn down the job, wait for something in San Francisco. But every solution required one of them to sacrifice their dreams, and neither wanted to be the reason the other settled for less. The fight started small, stress about the future, about money, about the uncertainty of their separate paths. But they grew bigger, more frequent, more painful. "Maybe we're kidding ourselves," Rachel said during one particularly brutal argument. "Maybe this is just college love. Maybe it's not meant to last." "Don't say that," Claire pleaded. "Don't you dare say that. But what if it's true? What if we're holding each other back?" "You're not holding me back. You're the reason I want to move forward." But the doubt had been planted, and it grew like a weed between them. Claire stood up abruptly, pacing to the kitchen window. Outside, the suburban street was quiet, porch lights glowing like small beacons in the darkness. This was her life now. Stable, predictable, safe. So different from the passionate uncertainty of her college years. The end came in May, 2 weeks before graduation. Claire came home from her final clinical rotation to find Rachel packing. "What are you doing?" "I can't do this anymore," Rachel said without looking up. The fighting, the uncertainty, the constant stress about the future. "I love you, Claire, but I can't live in limbo forever." "So you're just leaving? Without talking to me?" We've talked ourselves in circles for months. Nothing changes." Claire felt like she was drowning. "Rachel, please. We can figure this out. We just need more time." "Time won't fix this." Rachel finally looked at her, and Claire saw that she'd been crying. "We want different things. We're going different places. Maybe it's better to end this while we still love each other. I'll always love you. I know. I'll always love you too. That's why I have to go." Rachel finished packing in silence while Claire sat on their bed, too shocked to move. When Rachel reached the door, she turned back. "Take care of yourself, Claire. Be happy." And then she was gone. Claire wiped tears from her cheeks, surprised to find she was crying. 8 years, and it still hurt like it happened yesterday. She'd thrown herself into work after graduation, taking a job at a busy hospital in Los Angeles. She'd dated occasionally, nice men who treated her well and left her feeling empty. She'd convinced herself she was over Rachel, that what they'd had was just youthful intensity, not real love. Then she'd met David. David was a doctor, kind and stable in everything that made sense on paper. They dated for 2 years, and when he proposed, Claire said yes, because it seemed like the logical next step. But on their wedding day, standing at the altar in her white dress, Claire had looked into David's eyes and seen a future that felt like settling. She'd thought about Rachel, wondered where she was, if she was happy, if she ever thought about what they'd had. Claire had said, "I do," anyway. The marriage lasted 3 years. David wanted children, and Claire did too. But when she got pregnant with Lily, something shifted. Holding her daughter for the first time, Claire felt a fierce, protective love that reminded her of what she'd had with Rachel. Pure, overwhelming, transformative. David was a good father, but he was never fully present. His work came first, always. When Lily was 2, he accepted a position in Boston and assumed Claire would follow. "I can't," Claire had said. "This is Lily's home. My home." "Then I guess we want different things," David replied, echoing Rachel's words from years before. The divorce was amicable. David sent child support and visited when he could, but he'd essentially chosen his career over his family. Claire had chosen Lily over everything else. And now, somehow, Rachel was back in their lives. Claire looked at the clock, 11:47 p.m. She should go to bed, try to sleep, pretend that seeing Rachel again hadn't turned her world upside down. Instead, she found herself opening her laptop and typing Rachel Torres Sacramento Elementary School into the search engine. The first result was a school district website with staff photos. There was Rachel, smiling professionally in a navy blazer, her bio listing her credentials and years of service. Ms. Torres has been teaching at Lincoln Elementary for 6 years. She holds a master's degree in art education and specializes in integrating creative arts into core curriculum. She believes every child is an artist waiting to be discovered. 6 years. Rachel had been in Sacramento for 6 years, just 2 hours away, while Claire built her life as a single mother in Los Angeles. Claire closed the laptop quickly, as if Rachel might somehow sense she was being researched. But the damage was done. The memories were loose now, flooding back with painful clarity. The love, the loss, the what-ifs that had haunted her for 8 years. And now, Rachel was Lily's teacher. They would see each other regularly. Parent-teacher conferences, school events, pick-up and drop-off. Claire buried her face in her hands. How was she supposed to handle this? How was she supposed to pretend that seeing Rachel again hadn't cracked her carefully constructed world wide open? Monday morning arrived with the chaos typical of school days. Lily couldn't find her favorite socks, Mr. Ide. Whiskers had knocked over his water bowl, and Claire had burned the toast while distracted by thoughts of Rachel. "Mommy, you're being weird again," Lily observed, as Claire frantically searched for matching shoes. "I'm not being weird. I'm being efficient. You put the milk in the cabinet and the cereal in the fridge." Claire paused, looking at the refrigerator where a box of Cheerios sat next to the orange juice. "Okay, maybe I'm a little distracted. Is it because of Ms. Rachel?" Claire's hand stilled on Lily's backpack zipper. "What makes you say that? You got all funny after we saw her at the party, and you kept looking at your computer last night when you thought I was asleep." 6-year-olds were terrifyingly observant. "Ms. Rachel and I have some history, baby. It's complicated grown-up stuff." "Did you have a fight?" Something like that. Lily considered this with the seriousness only children could bring to adult problems. "Maybe you should say sorry. That's what you tell me to do when I fight with Emma." "It's not that simple, sweetheart." "Why not?" "Because some hurts run too deep for simple apologies. Because some bridges, once burned, can't be rebuilt. Because Claire had spent 8 years learning to live without Rachel, and she wasn't sure she could survive losing her again. "We should get going," Claire said instead. "You don't want to be late for show and tell." The drive to school was quiet, Lily absorbed in organizing her rock collection in a shoebox. Claire's stomach churned as they approached Lincoln Elementary. She'd managed to avoid pickup and drop-off since the party by having Lily ride the bus, but today's show and tell required parental transport of geological specimens. "There's Ms. Rachel." Lily pointed toward the school entrance where Rachel stood greeting students and parents. Claire's breath caught. Rachel wore a soft green sweater that brought out her eyes and dark jeans that looked effortlessly professional. Her hair caught the morning sunlight, and when she smiled at a passing student, Claire felt that familiar flutter in her chest. "Can we go say hi?" Lily asked. "We should get you to class, baby." But as they approached the entrance, Rachel spotted them. Her smile faltered for just a moment before she composed herself. "Good morning, Lily. Ready for show and tell?" "I brought my whole collection." Lily held up her shoebox proudly. "Mommy helped me organize them by color and size." "I can't wait to see them." Rachel's eyes flicked to Claire. "Good morning, Claire." "Morning." The greeting was stilted, formal. Other parents flowed around them, chatting easily with Rachel about weekend plans and upcoming field trips. Claire felt like an outsider in this world where Rachel belonged so naturally. "Ms. Rachel, guess what?" Lily bounced on her toes. "Mommy said you two have history. Like in my history book." Rachel's cheeks flushed pink. "Did she now?" "She said it's complicated grown-up stuff, but I think you should just say sorry to each other and be friends again." Claire wanted to disappear into the sidewalk. "Lily, we should—" "That's very wise advice, Lily," Rachel said gently. "Sometimes grown-ups make things more complicated than they need to be." Their eyes met over Lily's head, and for a moment, the years fell away. Claire saw the girl who used to make her laugh until her sides hurt, who painted her dreams in watercolor, and made terrible coffee with perfect love. "I should get to class," Rachel said, breaking the spell. "Lily, you're first up for show and tell today." "Really?" "Yes." Lily hugged Claire's legs. "Bye, Mommy. Wish me luck." "You don't need luck, baby. You're going to be amazing." Claire watched Lily skip into the building, her rock collection clutched carefully in both hands. When she turned back, Rachel was still standing there. "She's incredible," Rachel said softly. "So confident and curious. You've done an amazing job with her." "Thank you." Claire hesitated. "Rachel, about the other night." "Ms. Torres?" A parent approached with a question about the upcoming field trip, and the moment was lost. Claire drove to work with her mind spinning. The brief interaction had left her unsettled, like a song with an unresolved chord. She tried to focus on her patients, on the familiar rhythm of the hospital, but Rachel's words echoed in her head. Sometimes grown-ups make things more complicated than they need to be. Was that what they were doing? Making something simple into something impossible? At lunch, Claire found herself calling her best friend Sarah, a fellow nurse who'd listened to countless hours of Claire's relationship drama over the years. "So, let me get this straight," Sarah said after Claire explained the situation. "The love of your life is now your daughter's teacher, and you're pretending you don't know each other?" "We're not pretending. We're being professional." "Honey, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard." "Sarah, no, listen to me. You've been single for 3 years. 3 years of terrible dates and guys who don't get you. And now the universe drops Rachel back into your life, and you're running scared? It's not that simple. I have Lily to think about. Lily who clearly adores Rachel. Lily who asked if you could have 2 moms. Claire's heart stopped. She didn't ask that. Not yet. But kids aren't stupid, Claire. She's going to figure out there's something between you two. There's nothing between us. That was 8 years ago. Was it? Because from what you've told me, you never got over her. The truth hit Claire like a physical blow. She hadn't gotten over Rachel. Not really. She'd buried her feelings, built a life around them. But they'd never truly healed. "I can't risk it," Claire whispered. "What if it doesn't work out? What if we try again and it falls apart? Lily would be caught in the middle. What if it does work out? What if this is your second chance?" Claire ended the call more confused than ever. She picked up Lily from after-school care, listening to her daughter's excited recap of show and tell. "Ms. Rachel said my rocks were the most organized collection she'd ever seen. And Tommy asked if he could touch the quartz, and I said yes because sharing is caring, right, Mommy?" "Right, baby." And then Ms. Rachel told us about how rocks are formed over millions of years, and how pressure and heat can turn one kind of rock into another kind. She said it's called metamorphosis, like butterflies. Metamorphosis, Claire corrected gently. That's what I said. And she said sometimes the most beautiful rocks come from the most pressure. Isn't that cool? Claire's throat tightened. Was Rachel trying to tell her something? Or was she reading meaning into innocent geology lessons? That evening, as Claire helped Lily with homework, her daughter looked up from her math worksheet with serious eyes. Mommy, can I ask you something? Of course, baby. Why don't I have a daddy who lives with us? The question came out of nowhere, hitting Claire like a sucker punch. You have a daddy. He just lives far away. But Emma has a daddy who lives in her house. And Marcus has 2 daddies who both live in his house. And Sophia has a mommy and a daddy and a stepmommy. Claire set down her pen, giving Lily her full attention. Every family is different, sweetheart. Some kids have 1 parent, some have 2, some have more. What matters is that you're loved. I know I'm loved, Lily said matter-of-factly, but sometimes I wonder what it would be like to have 2 parents who both live here. Do you feel like something's missing? Lily considered this with the gravity of a philosopher. Not missing exactly, but like there's room for more love, you know? Claire's heart clenched. What do you mean? Like our house is big enough for another person, and you seem lonely sometimes, even when you're smiling. The observation was so astute, so painfully accurate, that Claire had to look away. Mommy? Did I say something wrong? No, baby. You didn't say anything wrong. Claire pulled Lily onto her lap. You're very smart and very observant. And you're right. There is always room for more love. So if someone wanted to be part of our family, that would be okay? Hypothetically? Yes. But it would have to be someone very special. Someone who loves you as much as I do. Lily was quiet for a moment, then, someone like Ms. Rachel? Claire's breath caught. Why would you say that? Because she looks at you the way Prince Eric looks at Ariel in the movie. And she looks at me like I'm special. And she smells like vanilla and makes good cookies. Lily. And because when you look at her, you get the same face you get when you look at me. The love face. Claire stared at her 6-year-old daughter, amazed by her perception. The love face? You know. Soft and happy and like you want to protect someone forever. Tears pricked Claire's eyes. You are very, very smart, Lily Martinez. So? Could Ms. Rachel be part of our family? Could we have 2 moms? The question hung in the air between them, innocent and loaded with possibility. Claire thought about Rachel's gentle way with Lily, her obvious affection for her students, the way she'd looked at Claire that morning, like she was seeing something precious and fragile. I don't know, baby, Claire said honestly. That would be up to Ms. Rachel, too. And it's complicated. Because of the grown-up history stuff? Because of the grown-up history stuff. Lily sighed dramatically. Grown-ups make everything so hard. If I liked someone and they liked me, I'd just tell them. Easy. You're absolutely right. Grown-ups do make things too hard. So maybe you should try being more like a kid. Just tell Ms. Rachel you like her. Claire hugged Lily tighter, breathing in the scent of her strawberry shampoo. When did you get so wise? I've always been wise. You just finally noticed. That night, after Lily was asleep, Claire sat in her living room staring at her phone. She'd found Rachel's number in the school directory, had typed and deleted a dozen messages. Hi, it's Claire. Could we talk? Delete. Rachel, I think we should discuss what happened between us. Delete. I can't stop thinking about you. Delete, delete, delete. Finally, she typed, Hi. Lily had a question today that I think we should discuss. Could we meet for coffee sometime? She hit send before she could lose her nerve. The response came 20 minutes later. Of course. How about Saturday morning? The Starbucks on Main Street, 10 a.m.? Claire stared at the message, her heart racing. Perfect. See you then. She set the phone aside and closed her eyes. In 4 days, she would sit across from Rachel and try to navigate 8 years of history, hurt, and hope for Lily's sake, she told herself. This was for Lily. But deep down, Claire knew it was for herself, too. Saturday morning arrived gray and drizzly, matching Claire's mood perfectly. She'd changed clothes 3 times, settling finally on jeans and a soft blue sweater that Rachel used to say brought out her eyes. Not that she was trying to impress anyone. Lily was spending the morning with her friend Emma, giving Claire the freedom to meet Rachel without curious 6-year-old commentary. She arrived at Starbucks 10 minutes early, ordering a latte and claiming a corner table where they could talk privately. Rachel walked in exactly at 10, scanning the crowded coffee shop until her eyes found Claire. She wore dark jeans and a cream-colored cardigan, her hair pulled back in a low ponytail. She looked nervous, beautiful, and achingly familiar. "Hi," Rachel said, sliding into the seat across from Claire. "Hi, thanks for coming." "Of course. Can I get you anything? Another coffee?" "I'm good, thanks." Rachel ordered a chai latte, her college drink of choice, Claire remembered, and returned to the table. They sat in awkward silence for a moment, the weight of 8 years and unfinished business settling between them. "So," Rachel said finally. "Lily had a question?" Claire wrapped her hands around her mug, needing something to anchor her. "She asked if we could have 2 moms." Rachel's eyes widened. "Oh, she's very perceptive. She noticed that there's history between us, and she's been thinking about family structures lately, wondering why some kids have 2 parents and she only has 1. What did you tell her?" "The truth. That every family is different, and that hypothetically, there's always room for more love, but that it would have to be someone very special." Rachel's cheeks flushed pink. "And she suggested me? She said you look at me the way Prince Eric looks at Ariel, and that I get my love face when I look at you. Your love face. Apparently it's soft and happy and protective, according to my very observant daughter." Rachel smiled, the first genuine one Claire had seen from her since the school party. "She's incredible. So smart and intuitive." "She gets that from her father," Claire said, then immediately regretted bringing up David. "Sorry, I didn't mean to." "It's okay. You were married. I know that. Divorced. 3 years now." "I'm sorry. That must have been difficult." Claire shrugged. "We wanted different things. He chose his career, I chose Lily. It was amicable enough." They fell into silence again. Rachel stirred her chai absently, and Claire noticed she still wore the small silver ring on her right hand, the one Claire had given her for their first anniversary. "Rachel," Claire started, then stopped. "I don't know how to do this, how to sit here and make small talk when there's so much we haven't said." "I know. I've been thinking about it all week, about seeing you again, about what it means. What does it mean? To you?" Rachel looked up, her brown eyes serious. "It means I never got over you, not really. I built a life. I dated other people. I convinced myself I'd moved on. But seeing you again, it's like no time has passed at all." The admission hung between them, raw and honest. Claire felt her carefully constructed walls beginning to crumble. "I never got over you either," she whispered. "I tried. God, I tried so hard. But you were always there, in the back of my mind, in my dreams, the standard I measured everyone else against. Even your husband." Claire's laugh was bitter. "Especially my husband. Poor David never stood a chance. I married him because he was safe, because he made sense on paper, but I never loved him the way I loved you." "Claire, I need to say this. I need you to know." Claire leaned forward, her voice urgent. "What we had wasn't just college experimentation or youthful passion. It was real. It was the realest thing I've ever felt. And losing you, it broke something in me that never quite healed." Tears gathered in Rachel's eyes. "Then why didn't you fight for us, when I was packing? When I was leaving, why didn't you stop me?" "Because I thought you were right. I thought maybe we were holding each other back. Maybe love wasn't enough. I was young and scared, and I didn't know how to fight for something I'd never had before." "What do you mean?" "I'd never been in love before you. Not real love. I didn't know it was worth fighting for, worth sacrificing for. I thought if it was meant to be, it would be easy." Rachel reached across the table, covering Claire's hand with her own. The touch sent electricity up Claire's arm. "I was scared too," Rachel said softly. "Scared that if we tried long distance and failed, we'd end up hating each other, scared that I wasn't enough to make you choose me over your dreams. You were everything. You were my dream. But I left anyway. We both made mistakes. We were kids trying to navigate something neither of us understood. They sat holding hands across the small table, years of hurt and regret flowing between them. Other customers came and went around them, but Claire felt like they existed in their own bubble of painful honesty. I looked you up, Rachel admitted. After I left, I used to check your social media, see what you were doing, if you were happy. When I saw you'd gotten married, I cried for 3 days. I looked you up too. When I saw you'd gotten the teaching job in Sacramento, I was so proud of you, and so jealous that you were living your dream while I was settling for mine. Were you happy with him? Claire considered the question. Content, maybe, grateful. He was a good man, a good father. But happy? Really, truly happy? No, I don't think I've been truly happy since you, Claire. Rachel's voice was thick with emotion. What about you? Have you been happy? I love my job. I love my students. I have a good life here, but there's always been something missing. Someone missing. They stared at each other across the table, 8 years of separation dissolving in the space between them. Claire felt like she was 22 again, sitting in their college coffee shop, falling in love with the girl who drew her portrait. So what do we do now? Claire asked. Where do we go from here? I don't know. This is complicated. I'm Lily's teacher. There are professional boundaries to consider. The school year ends in 3 months. And then what? We try again? Pick up where we left off? I don't know if we can pick up where we left off. We're different people now. I'm a mother. You're an established teacher. We have responsibilities, complications. But? Claire smiled through her tears, but Lily asked if we could have 2 moms. And for the first time in 8 years, I can imagine what that might look like. Rachel squeezed her hand. What would it look like? Sunday morning pancakes, help with homework. Someone to share the bedtime stories and the scraped knees and the proud moments. Someone who loves her as much as I do. I already love her. She's incredible, Claire. Funny and smart and so full of life. She's the best parts of you. She'd love having you around more. She talks about you constantly. Ms. Rachel this, Ms. Rachel that. You've made such an impact on her. She's made an impact on me, too. All my students do, but Lily, she's special. Maybe because she's yours. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, imagining possibilities. Claire felt something she hadn't experienced in years. Hope. Real, tangible hope for a future that included love and partnership and family. We'd have to take it slow, Rachel said eventually, for Lily's sake. And for ours. We can't just jump back into what we had before. Agreed. We're not the same people we were in college. No, we're not. We're better. Stronger. We know what we want now. What do you want, Rachel? Rachel's smile was soft, vulnerable. I want you. I want Lily. I want the family we dreamed about when we were 22 and thought love could conquer everything. Maybe it can. Maybe we just needed to grow up first. Maybe we did. Claire felt tears sliding down her cheeks, but for the first time in years, they were happy tears. So we try? We see what happens? We try. Carefully, slowly, but we try. What about the school situation? I'll talk to my principal. Explain that we have a personal history. As long as there's no conflict of interest, it shouldn't be a problem. And like you said, the school year ends in 3 months. And then we see where this goes, one day at a time. Claire lifted their joined hands and kissed Rachel's knuckles softly. I've missed you so much. I've missed you too. Every day for 8 years. They finished their drinks slowly, reluctant to end this moment of reconnection. When they finally stood to leave, Rachel pulled Claire into a hug. Tentative at first, then fierce and desperate. Thank you, Rachel whispered against Claire's ear, for being brave enough to reach out. For giving us another chance. Thank you for saying yes. They walked to their cars together, the drizzle having stopped while they were inside. At Claire's car, Rachel hesitated. Would it be okay if I called you, tonight maybe? Just to talk? I'd like that. I'd like that a lot. Good. And Claire? Tell Lily I said hi, and that I'm looking forward to seeing her Monday. I will. Claire drove home with her heart lighter than it had been in years. When she picked up Lily from Emma's house, her daughter took one look at her face and grinned. You look happy, Mommy. Really happy. I am happy, baby. Did you talk to Ms. Rachel? I did. And? Claire pulled into their driveway and turned to face her daughter. And we're going to try being friends again. Real friends. Just friends? For now. We have to take things slow, make sure it's right for everyone. Lily nodded sagely. That's smart. Emma's mom says you should always be friends first before you fall in love. Emma's mom is very wise. So is my mom. That evening, after Lily was in bed, Claire's phone rang. Rachel's name appeared on the screen, and Claire felt that familiar flutter of excitement. Hi, she answered. Hi. Is this a good time? Perfect time. They talked for 2 hours, about their jobs, their dreams, the years they'd spent apart. It felt like coming home. The next few weeks fell into a careful rhythm. Rachel and Claire texted daily, nothing romantic, just friendly check-ins about Lily's progress in school and small observations about their days. At pickup and drop-off, they exchanged smiles and brief conversations, professional but warm. The next few weeks fell into a careful rhythm. Rachel and Claire texted daily, nothing romantic, just friendly check-ins about Lily's progress in school and small observations about their days. At pickup and drop-off, they exchanged smiles and brief conversations, professional but warm. Lily noticed the change immediately. You're not being weird anymore, Mommy, she announced one evening while they made dinner together. I was being weird? Super weird. But now you smile when you talk about Ms. Rachel instead of getting that worried face. Claire stirred the pasta sauce, hiding her smile. I'm glad you approve. I do approve. Emma's mom says when grown-ups are happy, kids are happy too. Emma's mom says a lot of wise things. She does. Can I tell you a secret? Claire turned to face her daughter, noting the serious expression on Lily's face. Of course, baby. I've been wishing for Ms. Rachel to be part of our family. Like, really wishing. Every night when I blow out my nightlight, I make a wish. Claire's heart clenched. Lily. I know wishing doesn't always work, but sometimes it does, right? Sometimes the universe listens. Sometimes it does. Good. Because I think Ms. Rachel is lonely too. She doesn't have a family of her own, and we have extra love to share. The simple wisdom of a 6-year-old never ceased to amaze Claire. You're right, sweetheart. We do have extra love to share. That Friday, Rachel texted, Would you like to have coffee again? I have something I want to tell you. Claire's stomach fluttered with nerves. Of course. Same place? Same time? Perfect. See you tomorrow. Saturday morning found Claire once again sitting in their corner table at Starbucks, but this time she felt less anxious and more hopeful. When Rachel arrived, she looked nervous, but determined. Hi, Rachel said, sliding into her seat. Thanks for meeting me again. Always. What did you want to tell me? Rachel wrapped her hands around her chai latte, gathering courage. I talked to my principal about us, about our history. Claire's heart skipped. What did you say? The truth. That we dated in college, that we have a personal relationship outside of school, and that I wanted to make sure there were no ethical concerns about me teaching Lily. And? She said as long as there's no favoritism in the classroom and no disruption to the educational environment, there's no conflict of interest. Teachers are allowed to have personal relationships with parents. That's good news. It is. But Claire, there's something else. Something I should have told you years ago. Rachel's voice was serious, almost scared. Claire felt her stomach drop. What is it? The real reason I left. It wasn't just about the distance or the uncertainty about our futures. There was something else. Claire waited, her heart pounding. I was pregnant. The words hit Claire like a physical blow. What? For about 6 weeks, I found out right after we had that big fight about Sacramento and San Francisco. I was terrified, confused. We were barely keeping ourselves together, and suddenly there was this possibility of a baby. Claire stared at Rachel, trying to process this revelation. Why didn't you tell me? Because I knew what would happen. You would have given up your nursing program, followed me to Sacramento, and we would have built a life around obligation instead of choice. I didn't want you to stay with me because of a baby. I wanted you to stay because you couldn't imagine your life without me. Rachel, I lost the baby at 8 weeks. Miscarriage. It happens more often than people talk about. But by then, I'd already made the decision to leave. I thought it was a sign, that we weren't meant to be. Tears streamed down Claire's face. You went through that alone? I had my sister. She flew out from Phoenix, stayed with me for a week, but yes, mostly alone. I should have been there. I should have known. How could you know? I didn't tell you. But why? Why keep it secret? Rachel's voice broke. Because I was scared you'd think I left because I lost the baby, that I was running away from the grief instead of running toward something better. And maybe I was. Maybe I was so broken by the loss that I couldn't see a future for us anymore. Claire reached across the table, taking Rachel's hands in hers. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you went through that alone. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. It wasn't your fault. It was my choice not to tell you. But it was our loss. Our baby. I should have had the chance to grieve too. They sat in silence, both crying quietly. Other customers gave them curious glances, but Claire didn't care. This moment was too important, too raw to worry about public perception. Do you ever think about it? Claire asked softly. About what might have been? Every day for the first year, then less often. But it never really goes away, especially working with kids. I see 6-year-olds like Lily and think about what our child would have been like. Boy or girl? I don't know. It was too early to tell, but I used to imagine a little girl with your eyes and my stubborn streak. Claire smiled through her tears. She would have been beautiful. She would have been loved. So loved. They held hands across the table, grieving together for the first time, a loss that had shaped both their lives in ways they were only now beginning to understand. Is that why you became a teacher? Claire asked. To be around children? Partly. I wanted to nurture kids, to give them the creativity and encouragement I would have given our daughter. It helped with the healing. And me having Lily, does that hurt? Seeing what I got to experience, Rachel considered the question carefully. At first, when I found out you'd had a baby, it did hurt. But now, knowing Lily, seeing the incredible little person you've raised, I'm grateful. Grateful that you got to experience that joy, that love. And grateful that I get to be part of her life now. Even in a small way. It doesn't have to be a small way. What do you mean? Claire took a deep breath, gathering courage. I mean, if we're really going to try this, try us again, then you'd be part of her life in a big way. You'd be her second mom, if that's what you want. Is that what you want? I want you to love her like she's your own. I want her to have 2 parents who adore her. I want us to be a family. Even knowing about the baby, about what I kept from you, especially knowing about the baby. Rachel, we were kids. We made mistakes. We kept secrets. We hurt each other. But we're not those people anymore. We're adults who know what we want, who understand the value of love and family. What if I can't have children? What if the miscarriage damaged something? Then we'll deal with that together. Maybe we'll adopt. Maybe Lily will be enough. Maybe we'll explore other options. But we'll face it as a team. Rachel squeezed Claire's hands. I love her already, Lily. She's funny and smart and so full of life. Being her teacher has been one of the greatest joys of my career. She loves you too. She talks about you constantly. Ms. Rachel says this. Ms. Rachel thinks that. You've already become such an important part of her world. And yours? And mine. Rachel, these past few weeks, just texting with you, seeing you at school, it's reminded me what happiness feels like. Real happiness, not just contentment. I feel the same way, like I've been holding my breath for 8 years, and I can finally exhale. They finished their coffee slowly, reluctant to end this moment of complete honesty. When they finally stood to leave, Rachel hesitated. Claire, there's one more thing. What? I know we said we'd take things slow, but Would you and Lily like to have dinner sometime? At my place? I could cook. Well, attempt to cook. I've gotten better since college. Claire's smile was radiant. We'd love that. Lily would be over the moon. Tomorrow? Sunday dinner? Perfect. Should we bring anything? Just yourselves. And maybe some patience if I burn the chicken. They hugged goodbye, and this time it felt different, less desperate, more hopeful, like the beginning of something new rather than the echo of something lost. Driving home, Claire felt lighter than she had in years. The truth was finally out. All of it. The pain, the secrets, the regrets. And somehow, instead of driving them apart, it had brought them closer together. When she told Lily about the dinner invitation, her daughter literally jumped up and down with excitement. Really? We're going to Ms. Rachel's house? For dinner? Like a family? Like friends having dinner together, Claire corrected gently. Friends who might become family? Maybe, baby. We'll see. I'm going to wear my best dress, the blue one with the flowers, and I'll bring a picture I drew for her, and maybe Mr. Whiskers can come too? Let's start with just us, sweetheart. That night, as Claire tucked Lily into bed, her daughter looked up with serious eyes. Mommy, are you happy? Really, truly happy? I'm getting there, baby. I'm getting there. Good, because you deserve to be happy. And so does Ms. Rachel. And so do I. You're absolutely right. We all deserve to be happy, and tomorrow we're going to start being happy together. Claire kissed Lily's forehead, breathing in the scent of her strawberry shampoo. Tomorrow we're going to start being happy together. As she turned off the light, Claire felt something she hadn't experienced in 8 years, complete hope for the future. Tomorrow would be the first day of whatever came next. And for the first time since Rachel had walked back into her life, Claire wasn't afraid of the possibilities. Sunday afternoon arrived bright and clear, as if the universe was blessing their new beginning. Claire had changed clothes twice before settling on a casual sundress that made her feel confident but not overdressed. Lily wore her favorite blue dress with flowers and had insisted on bringing both a drawing for Rachel and a small bouquet of daisies from their garden. Do I look okay, Mommy? Lily asked for the 3rd time as they pulled into Rachel's driveway. You look beautiful, baby, but more importantly, how do you feel? Excited and a little nervous. What if Ms. Rachel doesn't like having us in her house? She invited us, sweetheart. That means she wants us here. Rachel's house was a small craftsman bungalow with a wraparound porch and a garden bursting with color. Wind chimes hung from the eaves, creating a gentle melody in the afternoon breeze. It was exactly the kind of home Claire had always imagined Rachel would have. Artistic, welcoming, full of life. Before they could knock, the front door opened and Rachel appeared, wearing jeans and a soft yellow top that made her skin glow. Her hair was loose around her shoulders, and she looked nervous but radiant. Hi, she said, her smile encompassing both of them. You found it okay? Your directions were perfect, Claire replied, suddenly feeling shy. Ms. Rachel, Lily bounded up the porch steps. I brought you something. 2 somethings, actually, Claire added, following more slowly. Lily thrust the drawing and flowers toward Rachel with the enthusiasm only a 6-year-old could muster. I drew you a picture of our dinner tonight, and Mommy helped me pick the prettiest flowers from our garden. Rachel knelt to Lily's level, accepting both gifts with genuine delight. Lily, these are absolutely beautiful. The flowers are perfect, and this drawing... She studied the colorful picture showing 3 stick figures around a table. Is this us? Uh-huh. That's you, and that's Mommy, and that's me. We're all smiling because we're happy to be together. Rachel's eyes met Claire's over Lily's head, and Claire saw tears gathering there. It's the most beautiful picture I've ever received. Should we put it on the refrigerator? Yes, that's where all the best pictures go. Rachel stood, still holding the flowers. Come in, please. Welcome to my home. The interior of the house was exactly what Claire expected. Warm, artistic, lived in. Paintings covered the walls, some clearly Rachel's work, others from local artists. Books filled built-in shelves, and plants thrived in every sunny corner. It felt like a home where creativity flourished and love lived. Your house is so pretty, Lily exclaimed, spinning in the living room. It's like a rainbow inside. Thank you, sweetheart. I like colors. Me too. Mommy says our house is too beige, but she won't let me paint my room purple. Purple is a wonderful color, Rachel said seriously. Very royal and creative. Claire shot Rachel a look that said, "Don't encourage her." But she was smiling. "Can I see your art room?" Lily asked. "Mommy said you're a real artist, not just a teacher. I'd love to show you. But first, let me put these beautiful flowers in water." They moved to the kitchen, where something delicious was simmering on the stove. Rachel had clearly put effort into the meal. The table was set with colorful dishes, and the smell of herbs and garlic filled the air. "It smells amazing," Claire said. "What are you making?" "Chicken with lemon and herbs, roasted vegetables, and garlic bread. I may have gone a little overboard. It's perfect." While Rachel arranged the daisies in a small vase, Lily explored the kitchen with wide eyes. "You have so many cool things. What's this?" She pointed to a stand mixer painted with flowers. "That's for making cookies and cakes. I painted the flowers myself." "You painted your mixer? That's so cool. Mommy, can we paint our mixer?" "We don't have a mixer, baby. We should get one. A purple one." Rachel laughed, and the sound filled the kitchen with warmth. Purple would be perfect. They moved to Rachel's art studio, a converted bedroom filled with easels, canvases, and supplies organized in cheerful chaos. Lily was enchanted, touching everything with careful reverence. "This is where the magic happens," Rachel explained, "where I create all my paintings." "Do you paint people?" "Sometimes. Would you like to see?" Rachel pulled out a portfolio and showed Lily some of her portrait work. Claire watched her daughter's face light up with wonder and felt her heart swell. This was what she'd always wanted for Lily: exposure to art, creativity, someone who could nurture her imagination. "Could you teach me to paint?" Lily asked. "I would love to teach you. Maybe we could start with watercolors." "Really? Mommy, did you hear that? Ms. Rachel is going to teach me to paint." "I heard, baby. That's very generous of Ms. Rachel." "It would be my pleasure," Rachel said, and Claire could see she meant it. Dinner was perfect. The food delicious, the conversation easy and natural. Lily chattered about school, her friends, her rock collection, and her dreams of becoming either a veterinarian or an artist, or maybe both. Rachel listened with genuine interest, asking thoughtful questions and sharing stories from her own childhood. "Ms. Rachel, do you have a family?" Lily asked during dessert, homemade chocolate chip cookies that were somehow even better than the ones from the school party. "I have my sister in Phoenix and my parents in Colorado, but no family here in Sacramento." "That must be lonely." "Sometimes it is." "Well, you could be part of our family if you want. We have extra room for love." Claire nearly choked on her cookie. "Lily." "What?" "It's true. You said so yourself, Mommy. There's always room for more love." Rachel's smile was soft, touched. "That's very kind of you, Lily. I would be honored to be part of your family." "Really? So we could have two moms?" The question hung in the air, innocent and loaded with hope. Claire felt her heart stop, waiting for Rachel's response. "Would you like that?" Rachel asked gently. "To have two moms?" "Yes. Emma has two dads, and they're the best. They both help with homework, and they both come to soccer games, and they both love her so much. I think having two moms would be even better, because moms are really good at hugging and making everything okay." Rachel's eyes filled with tears. "Moms are pretty good at those things. So, could we try it? Could you be my second mom?" Rachel looked at Claire, asking permission with her eyes. Claire nodded, her own eyes wet with tears. "I would love to be your second mom, Lily, if that's okay with your first mom." "It's more than okay," Claire whispered. Lily jumped up from her chair and threw her arms around Rachel. "This is the best day ever. Wait until I tell Emma I have two moms now." "Whoa. Slow down there, sweetheart," Claire said gently. "We need to take this one step at a time. Ms. Rachel and I need to figure out how this all works." "But she said yes. She wants to be my second mom, and I meant it," Rachel said, still holding Lily. "But your first mom is right. We need to take our time. Make sure we do this right." "How long will that take?" Rachel and Claire exchanged a look over Lily's head. How long did it take to rebuild a love that had never really died? How long to create a family from the ashes of old dreams? We'll figure it out together, Rachel said. All three of us. After dinner, they moved to the living room, where Lily curled up between Claire and Rachel on the couch, looking through one of Rachel's art books. The domesticity of the moment took Claire's breath away. This was what she'd dreamed of 8 years ago. What she'd thought was lost forever. I should probably get Lily home soon, Claire said reluctantly, as her daughter's eyelids began to droop. It's a school night. Of course, but could we do this again? Soon? Yes, Claire said without hesitation. We'd love that. As they gathered their things, Lily hugged Rachel tightly. Thank you for dinner, and for showing me your art room, and for wanting to be my second mom. Thank you for the beautiful flowers and the perfect drawing, and for being the most wonderful little girl I've ever met. I love you, Ms. Rachel. Rachel's breath caught. I love you too, Lily. So very much. At the door, Rachel and Claire stood close together while Lily skipped ahead to the car. Thank you, Claire said softly. For tonight, for being so wonderful with her, for saying yes. Thank you for giving me this chance, for letting me into your lives. Rachel, I know. I feel it too. They were standing so close Claire could smell Rachel's vanilla perfume, could see the flecks of gold in her brown eyes. For a moment, it felt like they might kiss, like 8 years of separation might dissolve in a single touch. Instead, Rachel reached out and squeezed Claire's hand. One step at a time, remember? One step at a time. The drive home was quiet, Lily dozing in her car seat. When they arrived home, Claire carried her sleepy daughter inside and helped her get ready for bed. Mommy, Lily said, as Claire tucked her in. Are you happy now? Really, truly happy? Claire thought about the evening, the laughter, the easy conversation, the way Rachel had looked at Lily with such genuine love. She thought about the possibility stretching ahead of them, the family they might build together. Yes, baby. I'm really, truly happy. Good. Because I think we're going to be the best family ever. You and me and Ms. Rachel and Mr. Whiskers. I think you might be right. I know I'm right. I wished for this, remember? And wishes come true when you believe in them hard enough. Claire kissed Lily's forehead, breathing in the scent of her strawberry shampoo one more time. Sweet dreams, baby girl. Sweet dreams, Mommy. Tomorrow is going to be another good day. As Claire turned off the light and closed the door, she felt a peace she hadn't experienced in years. Tomorrow would indeed be another good day, and the day after that, and the day after that. For the first time in 8 years, Claire could see her future clearly. And it was beautiful. 6 months later, on a sunny Saturday morning, Claire woke up in Rachel's bed to the sound of laughter from the kitchen. She found Rachel and Lily making pancakes together, flour in their hair and joy on their faces. Good morning, sleepyhead, Rachel said, kissing Claire's cheek. We're making breakfast. I'm helping, Lily announced proudly. Rachel is teaching me to flip pancakes. Rachel? Claire noticed the change immediately. Well, she's not my teacher anymore, Lily said matter-of-factly. She's my mom. So I can call her Rachel now, or Mom Rachel, or just Mom. We haven't decided yet. Claire looked at Rachel, who shrugged with a smile. She has a point. The school year ended, and we've been together every day since. I think we've moved past the formal titles. So what am I now? Claire asked, wrapping her arms around both of them. You're Mom Claire, Lily said, and she's Mom Rachel, and I'm the luckiest kid in the world because I have 2 moms who love me and each other. Yes, you are, Claire agreed, her heart full to bursting. The luckiest kid in the world. As they ate breakfast together in Rachel's sunny kitchen, their kitchen now, Claire marveled at how perfectly the pieces had fallen into place. Love had found its way back to them, stronger and more mature than before. They'd built something beautiful from the ashes of their past, something that included all of them. What should we do today? Rachel asked, reaching across the table to take Claire's hand. Anything, Claire replied. Everything. We have all the time in the world. Can we paint? Lily asked hopefully. Rachel promised to teach me watercolors. We can paint, Rachel agreed. We can do whatever makes us happy. And they were happy. All 3 of them together, finally home. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more heartwarming stories like this one. Hit that notification bell and let me know in the comments. Do you believe in second chances? Have you ever found your way back to a lost love? Share your story below. I love hearing from you. Until next time, remember that love always finds a way.